do all the motion capture for Master Chief in Halo. Everything you see him do, I do. Anyway, we were shooting Infinite. I was sitting in the hotel on a Saturday, and the local Seattle news crew, they had said the first person had died.
I was scheduled to go out to an Activision meeting in March, and we had just got done discussing, hey, this COVID thing is kind of crazy. I'm not sure if I should be flying.
We'd had the luck of getting a couple of sessions in on the stages in the full motion capture. And then when the pandemic hit and we realized that we weren't going to be able to continue shooting like that, there was this horrible feeling like, well, what's going to happen?
Tuesday, it was up to 9 people. And then that's when it all sort of shut down.
What do you mean we might have to work from home? Maybe it was going to be 20 people, or then 50% of the studio would have to work from home. And it was like, no, the decision's been made. Everybody has to be work from home.
Yes, okay, we can get the engineers to record remotely. Okay, so then how do we get the actors to be able to do that as well?
At the time, I was like, if this lasts 6 or 8 weeks, we can't get it done. That's impossible. You can't work from home.
I couldn't fathom how they were going to do it.
Recording reference and face. We got takedown, hit 3, outro, interrogation, Adler, part 1, take 3.
One of those areas I thought we were just dead in the water was the external talent. We could control a lot of stuff internally. We could, get better streaming and get everyone set up. But I can't have actors go into a studio. So how is this going to work?
None of us were able to really finish our performances physically. And so I bought this booth years ago. Just to come back here, this is my bedroom. I get up in the morning and I stumble all the way over to my booth. It's 5 by 5. Step inside and it's all that material. So it's nice and quiet. It absorbs all the sound. There's the microphone I use. My iPad that I'm holding normally goes right there below my mic, and that's where I can pull up scripts and Zoom meetings, and so I can see it right on the mic as I'm working. Some of the other performers didn't have that, so Activision will send you a home kit.
They sent me a kit that was all audio, and basically, I would go onto a Zoom call, and we would run through the script with the director, who was, like, I like that. Maybe you can try her sounding a little less panicked about having been shot in the leg. The base is just over the next ridge. Get in, learn what you can, and get out.
We basically used a combination of the technology from the PCAP stage, so those helmets with the microphones that you see, as well as acoustic treatments for the actors' homes.
So I just had to set up my own home studio, which was a gas because I was living in an 18th century colonial farmhouse, and every time they would call me and I'd be like underneath all these comforters and pillows.
It was a lot of trial and error, so trying to find the best room for it. I remember one where the actor just quickly brought a sheet up over themselves, literally just right over their heads, in order to record those few lines.
And we were recording through, the dead of summer where it was 98 degrees and I'd be trapped inside of this room for 4 hours, screaming my brains out, just sweating. It really helped my performance, actually. I think it did.
Someone just shot you in the kneecaps.
Oh, Jesus.
The voiceover director, who was in charge of all of us, directed everything. And so a scene where you're in combat or threatening somebody and the adrenaline's flowing, you have to create that in the booth. And then it's up to the engineers at the other end to sort of work their magic and make it sound like they're in the same game.
Copy that! Get your team out of there, Adler!
It's also very difficult because I'm doing all the tech on my end. So I'm recording everything, what normally an engineer would do, which has been a real learning curve, let me tell you. And then I've got to quick change and get back into my character mode, and you got to set the scene for yourself.
Every time Perseus has come into play, it's shifted the balance of the Cold War.
To some extent, the facial capture would still be aided by our Zoom calls so that they could see what my face was doing. All of the motion capture was basically being outsourced to these Nordic countries that weren't shutting down. They have all of my facial expressions, and it's a matter of kind of stitching them together.
Maybe you two have a special rapport.
Raven and other studios have performance stunt actors, stunt performers who can do a lot of the game work motion capture for us.
One, bang.
To not be able to like just walk up and touch the screen and act out what I was talking about. It's like, no, I want the guy's head to turn this way and I want his hat to fall off that way. Really, it took the team willing to like take chances and take risks. They just had to go, you know what, this is what I think the right decision is going to be, and I'm going to make it and make that call and do it. We found these little small ways, almost like muscle reflex was being rebuilt to kind of improve those efficiencies.
Come on, get in!
Props to the IT guys across Activision, Raven, Treyarch, everybody that figured it out.
The steps that have been made during this pandemic, I think there's a lot to be gained from it. The fact that I was alone and solitary and in this isolated place actually allowed me to take her to a place that I think I might not have gone if I'd been in relation with other people.
And suddenly it was like, wait a minute, we can just go back to these people and have them, pop out of their family room into their closet. That way, it was almost a bonus.
The actors are comfortable recording from home. Now that we're taking that a little bit more seriously and being more involved with that step, I think we'll continue with that.
We may end up doing this for a while by choice.
But for sure, we're going to hire more people, work from home, and we're going to probably get people with more dev kits going home in the future after this.
We are adaptable, and you have to trust that you'll eventually find a way.
Something big is gonna happen. Something that will affect the free world. You ever wonder, different choices, how we might end up?
No, I like to hand it to them.